Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the second main phase. We are also going to have this as a Twitch broadcast as well. So if you can't join us for our audio portion, you'll have it on video as well. So I'm very cool with that. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. This has been a crazy week in Magic for both of us. Daniel, how are you?
I'm great, Alan. I'm so glad to be back. We're back, second episode.
Yes, I'm very excited about this. I don't even know where to begin. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're always trying to keep around the hour time. So we're going to go and lightly touch on some stuff that we feel is important. Let's go ahead and start off, just briefly touch on card stock. That is something new. This is our draw step. It's new.
Yep. Something brand new. We got a big update from Wizards. Improvements coming to card stock.
If they have to make an announcement on it, I'm worried.
Biting your nails a little bit.
What do you think?
So this was something that was talked about at the con we were at. That's coming down the pipe here. But several people having this discussion, their dislike of the new card stock. Ever since Ixalan, several sets back, we have had a degrading kind of cardstock. Thinner paper, worse image quality, misprints.
See, okay, so you kept playing after I stopped. So I hadn't noticed a difference, really. Like, personally, I haven't noticed a difference. I did notice that the cards did seem a little bit more flimsy. I will say that.
Right. Yeah, the art, it just doesn't look as crisp. The cards just don't feel as good a quality. They may be addressing this.
Yeah, and they did say that the card stock was going to change with the launch of Horizons. Okay. So we'll see.
So the last set, Ultimate Masters, that was a set that was made. Those were actually made in Japan, and that card stock was phenomenal. The quality of those cards significantly higher. Modern Horizons, a little bit worse of a card stock than that. So obviously made by a different company. Yeah. We'll see what's coming down the pipe with this. I'm excited about it. I'm always hope for the best. I have a lot of faith in Wizards that they're going to do the right thing. Okay,
and let's go ahead and move on now. When we originally made our show notes for this, we didn't have any spoilers for 2020 yet. But oh boy, did Professor Oak deliver with the 3 Chandra evolutions.
So I saw this. You actually were the one that let me know about this because I didn't even know about it. The first thing I saw this, I didn't read anything, didn't look at anything. My mind went to Charmeleon, Charizard, and what's the littlest one? Charmander.
How could you forget Charmander?
I know. I've been playing too much Magic. But,
okay, so let's go and look at them real quick. So we got Chandra, Novice Pyromancer. Yeah. She's 3 mana, 3 colorless, 1 red. 5 loyalty out the gate, which is already good.
Yeah.
Elementals you control for her +1 get +2/+0 until end of turn. -1, add 2 red mana to your mana pool. Good already. Her -2 deals 2 damage to any target.
Uncommon Planeswalkers, they have passed beyond War of the Spark set. This was the big question. I didn't know if they were going to continue this.
And they like it, dude.
They like it.
So
love it.
In our last episode, I told Daniel the one thing I didn't want to see was Planeswalkers.
Oh no!
And we got 3 of them in one day.
3 of the same chick.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move it up. Daniel, what do we got here?
Chandra, Acolyte of Flame.
Oh, she comes with 4 loyalty, and her things are crazy. She's really resemblant, we'll say, of Jace the Mind Sculptor, because he has a 0-tick ability.
Yeah.
Which is cool for Planeswalkers, I think. And her first 0-tick is you put a loyalty counter on each red Planeswalker you control.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's okay. Right?
Right.
So that's how she upticks herself so she doesn't die. And I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I don't like the just spinning down Planeswalkers because eventually they just get to the point where it's
they're useless. They're just on the battlefield.
Yeah, they're just sitting. The static abilities.
They're waiting to be eaten by an Elder Spell.
Yeah. No.
Get your grubbing.
Get your grubbing on.
All right, so what's her next 0 tick?
Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. So this screams aggro. This screams duders on the board.
So the one thing that we're going to see with all 3 of these planeswalkers, and it's really weird, and it's cool, I'll give them credit. They all work so well together.
Yeah.
They do, because like we said before with the other Chandra, her one ability, elementals you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. So if you happen to have her out first and then drop her, you play her, and for 0 ticks you get 3 1s, 2 3/1s with haste.
Right.
Ouch.
That's for real.
I mean, that's good. So then what's her -2?
-2, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead.
Okay.
Can I just make a comment here before we go on? I don't like how we've got multiple planeswalkers on the battlefield with the same name. That just kind of...
Yeah, so...
It's like a pet peeve
What
of
was
mine.
the original Legend rule?
The original Legend rule is...
They kill each other, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think even if the opponent casted that...
Yeah, that was removal.
Yeah.
It was removal for both. It was a way for me to handle what I couldn't stop.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the big lady, dude. Awakened Inferno.
God, sounds powerful.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, so control players.
Can't be countered.
Yeah, she's definitely coming in. Whether you like it or not, she's coming in. I mean, 6 mana is high. It is.
Yeah, but I mean, we've already seen from this last set, Liliana's for real. Ugin's for real,
dude.
So I was very surprised by that. So 6 mana planeswalkers can come down on the battlefield.
Yeah. So the other part that we have now is her +2 ability. Each opponent gets an emblem. So this is hilarious.
Your opponent gets the emblem.
Yeah.
What a power move! Toss a card over there on the side. It's yours for the rest of the game.
Think about Commander.
Okay.
Okay. So
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. Now, why this is cool is because it's damage I can't get rid of. There's no such thing as emblem removal. How this...
Yeah.
Dude, listen. So how this also works, Spectacle. I don't have anything I need to do then.
Yeah, triggers Skewer the Critics.
Yeah, and the Havoc Demon.
Light up the stage.
Is it called Havoc Demon? I can't remember.
Havoc Demon.
It's the 4 mana black minion that has Spectacle, but it only costs 3 converted.
Can't remember that card.
It's something close to that. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, it's a black 4/4 flyer, and that's good enough on its own.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, she works with that too, and she works with Spectacle. Her -3, she deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. So we can obviously run this in an elemental tribal, or are we now looking at another control element?
Yeah, it's a board wipe, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she comes in board wipe.
So I mean that justifies the casting costs.
Yeah.
And I mean board wipes. What are they running? So we got 4 mana for Kai's Wrath, and that's destroy all.
4 mana Ritual Soot.
Yeah, 4 mana, 5 mana Tom Wipe.
Cry the Carnarium.
Cry the Carnarium but it's -2/-2. So this is better.
The one thing that deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature.
Can't remember.
Yeah, but I mean, you have those, and
Fiery Cannonade.
Good. I had it set to the side just for this alone. So yeah, I mean, and she's, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's good, especially for red. You know.
Yeah, but let's just be honest. I don't know if this is going to go in the mono red aggro archetype. I mean, 6 mana. If you're getting to that point, things have gone badly. I mean,
well, okay. So what about
against against control decks, that this might be something you want to sub in. Is she better than the Chandra we just got from the last set? I don't know. Like, Chandra from the last set is basically digging through your library every turn, and she is a serious threat if she keeps ticking up because you've got 7 cards to play.
Yeah. My thing is this viable? Now, is this viable in the sense of we drop New Nicobolus, we drop him turn 5, right? Okay. Turn 6, Chandra comes down. Nicobolus we can give them 2 emblems.
Mm-hmm.
We can deal 6 damage to each non-elemental creature if he lives. If he's got enough for his down tick. Like, is this viable in that deck?
They've got him priced right now at $50 on TCG.
Why?
I don't know.
Do they know something else that we don't?
See, that's what always kind of... I'm talking all this trash about this card, and I'm like so adamant about it not being that great in mono red aggro, and they've got it priced at $50. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the board wipe really is a big factor, and elemental creature token or creatures are going to be a thing.
Yep.
I'm running through what elementals we
will
have.
See.
Okay.
So, but now her next ability, the last ability.
Mm-hmm.
What we got? -X. What does she do?
Damage the target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die, exile it. So it's just another removal.
It's a removal. It's good for planeswalker removal. Mm-hmm. So she can't be countered. Enters. You do her ability. Even if they Vraska's Contempt her after that, they do anything. You got a chance to down tick their Teferi so that they didn't get their ult off. You got a chance to down tick this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're good. Next thing I want to talk about. Oh, it is happening, everybody.
Are they bringing Magic to the mainstream?
Magic is coming to Netflix.
Is it coming to mom and pop shops around the world?
I couldn't be happier with this, and especially with it being an anime.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're a big anime guy.
I love anime. The other big part is Daniel. Who's attached to these guys?
Old brother.
So we got the guys that are part of Marvel.
Yeah. Marvel's making this. So Netflix been on a tear, had taken a little of a backstep. I haven't really watched a lot of Netflix recently. But,
I do every day.
Oh, okay. All right.
Netflix is good.
Yeah, Netflix is good, but
Dark Season 2 comes out.
I'd rather be gaming, but that's just me. Another conversation for another day.
That's for the other podcast we do.
Yeah, other podcasts. Check us out. But no, this is very exciting to me. I'm coming in with tempered expectations because Magic historically very rough around the edges story-wise, especially from my perspective.
So it's funny that you say that because that's what they said. They said they are focusing on a story-driven universe, which is what they need because if not, it's going to be so cheesy.
It definitely is. And man, you know where my mind instantly went? It was like, so if Magic gets into the mainstream and everybody knows about Magic, like it's just a game people just understand now.
Mm-hmm.
All memorabilia, all cards, people are going to want this.
So are my bayous going to go up in price?
Everything's going up in price.
buy.
There's going to be Funko Pops or whatever at Walmart of like, if they're not already, but there's
Chandra, Nicobolas.
Yes, like all these characters. These are the new. Is this going to be the new Thor? Is this going to be the new Captain America? Like, I mean, I just can't imagine a world where Magic is that big of a deal because
we got Nicobolas Funko Pop.
Okay, so but when I talk to people about Magic, it's something that you have to kind of preface it by saying it's a card game. This could transcend that.
Yeah,
it now is a property. It's now an IP that it goes farther than that.
I'm this type of person though. I don't care if it's good or bad. I'm just happy we got something because it's a start.
Yeah,
and only time will tell. We don't know how long it's going to be till this thing comes out. It could be 2020, it could be 2021. Easy.
And if you compare, and not to be a downer, but if you compare this to video game movies, historically, video game movies very bad.
Except the 1990s Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That movie's perfect in every aspect.
Good movie. But, I mean, it is still good. It's still good. The sequel's even better, right?
Nothing can touch it. All right, so next up, guys. I don't know how I feel about this new format coming to Magic the Gathering Arena for the set rotation in 2019.
London Mulligan, they accepted it.
Well, they have that, and they're going to implement that with the rotation of this. So there's a lot of stuff happening at one time.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So we have London Mulligan, which is going to start with the next format, and I don't know how I feel about this or the London Mulligan.
Okay, new format coming, so we don't know exactly what it's going to be.
All we know is it's going to involve all the other sets, which are, Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan, Dominaria, rest in peace to Fairy, and M19.
So the one may look at this and think, okay, what are they trying to do? What is the justification for this? Are they seeing stagnation in the metagame? Are they seeing a call from the community for some different play type, or is it directly related to MTG Arena?
I think it's just direct because the cards are already programmed.
Right.
They don't want to have to go in and do something else. They don't want to have to go in and do something different. So it boils down to, we're going to code name it Archery. And what was the original code name? Like Arena Plus or Standard Plus?
Don't know.
The original code, it was something cheesy like that. Mm-hmm. I wish that they would naturally just bring Modern to Arena, because I would spend so much money.
I read something, I saw it explained where it may not be feasible with the current architecture of the game.
I know that they're still planning on keeping Magic the Gathering Online still going.
Yeah.
Whether that be for lawsuit reasons, because if they shut down those servers, all these people that spend all this money, it would be an issue. Mm-hmm. And plus, trying to save face with it. But the good news that we did get out of this article, it will be coming to mobile. It's not a if it is, when, not if.
Yeah, I would, because when I started playing Hearthstone, this was when I was out of Magic. I kind of got into Hearthstone because of its
ease.
Accessibility.
Yeah,
I mean, I could play it on the iPad, and I was kind of hungering for like a card game, and I think other people are too, and they want that streamlined experience. And I think, man, if this were to come to an iPad, it would make a killing.
Absolutely, and I know that I would play it.
For sure.
I would spend a lot more time on the toilet. That's always good.
The more time on the toilet is always good. Or bad.
Yeah. All right, so now let's go and touch on the second part of what Daniel was saying. London Mulligan.
Yeah, kind of jumped the gun there a little bit, but yeah, the London Mulligan, this is something that's been going around card shops. It's like, are we doing the Vancouver or London? So Vancouver is draw 6 and scry 1 if you've rejected your first hand. London Mulligan is now going to be drawing a fresh 7 and then putting 1 on the bottom. So this allows you to see more cards before accepting your final hand.
I don't like this for Modern and Legacy. Mm-hmm. This is, and that's the thing now. When you hear Corset 2020, when you hear anything coming up, you hear new format, your first thought now is, here comes the London Mulligan. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea of not having so many one-sided Magic the Gathering games, because it feels bad.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk about that later with what we did at Star City. And there was some real big feel-bad moments. You know what I mean? But I'm afraid what this will do is the amount of comboing pieces in Modern. Tron, for example. If you just need a mulligan down to get your Urza lands.
But you have to, and from a different perspective, you have to think about it like they've put in the R&D. This is a company that how many cards have been banned or had to be stopped because of they broke the game. I mean, it's literally a handful of cards. It's an incredible accomplishment what they've done. I have trust in them that they are doing. They put in the R&D. They're making the right decision. I'm nervous about it as well, because these pros, you play them. They're looking for a specific 7, and if they can get it, I mean, the disparity in games that might not have been close may be a lot smaller now, because they've gotten exactly the pieces they've needed.
Yeah. So I do believe that this is going to make cards like Thoughtseizes so much better. Mm-hmm. Because if I have 7 and I draw 1 Thoughtseize and I see you mulliganing down to 4 or 5.
That's past tense, right?
You're mulliganing. Mm-hmm. You sound like a...
it sounds like a motor's trying to start.
You're about to mulligan down to 5. And let's say even you go as far as to go to 4 because you want your pieces. My Thoughtseize just got really good.
Yeah. If you know the deck, though. I mean, and we'll talk about that later on the experience with the con. But it still comes down to, can you snipe the right card, or do you know what they're doing? Yeah. But I totally agree with you. Discard strategies,
any disruption,
any type of disruption could be more effective.
Yeah. Okay. So think about it. We got Force of Negation. I'm hanging on to that. You discarded down to 5 cards, 4 cards. Man, that's awesome for me.
Yeah.
You play something that you really needed for your combo piece. Perfect. It's gone. Now you got to top deck it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, time will tell.
Time will tell. I'm not high or low on this. Let's see what happens.
I think this is great for standard right now.
I agree, because there were games that we played.
Yeah, we're about to be there. But okay, let's go ahead and one last thing I want to talk about. Mythic Championship 3 is coming up. We got event dates Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is for Mythic Championship 3. It's going to be streamed on Twitch. I had a lot of fun watching it last time. And this was just a quick reminder for everybody. It's going to be 8 a.m. if you're on Pacific, but we're on the East Coast, so our stuff starts at noon. And it's just going to be running for a while. So first prize, $100,000.
Yeah, we got to see the champ, Autumn Burchett. We saw her.
Was she the first Mythic Invitational?
No,
winner?
from the last one.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah,
is that what this is?
She won with the mom.
Yeah, we did see her at the con. I talked to her. She's super cool. She's
Yeah.
real nice. I bet she was really annoyed with everybody hollering at her the whole time. But yeah, I mean, ton of people, challengers, NPL. I mean, it's always fun to watch because I like seeing new strategies. This one is the one that's being held in Vegas, and then they already have the time set up for the other Mythic Championships.
Is it modern?
She won the first one in February, and this gentleman here, I'm not sure who he is, but he won it for London, England.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they do modern standard, I do believe. There's my boy Andre.
There he is.
But I mean, yeah, I mean that's really it. We're just gonna watch it, and then we'll have our take on it too.
Yeah, I watch them occasionally, but I like just seeing the deck list at the end because they've really cut the fat on the meta game. They've streamlined it. What's good, what's not. This kind of tells us where we're at. But if any evidence from the Mythic Championship 1 to now, standard is totally different than when it was then. So how long does this information give us? I don't know. But just looking ahead, Mythic Championship 6 is going to be in Richmond, Virginia. How exciting is that?
We could potentially go to that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's in November. I mean, I'm down.
Yeah. Richmond's an easy drive for us. 4 hours right now.
Yeah. But the one that's coming up, this is a good segue into our main phase.
Here we go.
The next Mythic Championship coming up, July 26th to the 28th in Spain.
Barcelona.
Dude, we got cheated.
What?
We got cheated. We should.
What do you mean?
We should be there, Daniel.
Oh, we should be at the Mythic Championship in Barcelona?
Yeah, dude. Okay, so guys, main FaceTime. We went to the Star City Con, and
boy, did we!
It was an eye-opening experience.
Dude, we're good at Magic.
According to our standings, we are so good at Magic that we dropped. Both of us went 1 and 3.
I had a lot of fun, and
I did.
And honestly, I felt competitive in the games. I mean, it wasn't like blowouts. I mean, we were in the games.
So I brought Esper Control, and my first match was Gruul, and I was excited for it because I teched my Esper deck to beat that. First game, I got flooded, or no, I didn't get flooded. It was a drought. I drew the perfect hand, 3 lands, and then I didn't see a land for 6 turns after that. It is what it is.
Things happen.
Yeah. Now this is a big eye-opening experience for Esper Control because I won every game that I
went first.
Yeah. And that's crazy to me.
Dice roll, most important part of Magic.
It is. No, for Control, it is. Daniel, you went into detail on your stuff for your show notes.
Yeah.
Lay it on me.
I brought Esper mid-range, so our decks were similar in
the mana base.
Well, and I think a lot of cards were overlapping. Your strategy more trying to control the other players, stop them, disrupt them from doing and then mine was have a little bit of that, but then still have critters on the board to take over the game.
Yeah.
My first match was mono red, and I actually ended up winning that game. It took it went to a game 3. Very competent opponent. he he played very, very well. It was one of those games where I just kept drawing gas. It was just I had answers and I had just powerful things on the board, whether they be creatures, planeswalkers, that were just pressuring him so that he really just couldn't get ahead there.
Yeah. So and this is, guys, we're in the meat of it. We're at our combat phase, and the meta there was not what I expected. I did not play one mono red, and I was expecting red.
Yeah. I played 2 mono red in the Mythic Championship, and those games are so difficult. My strategy, I relied a lot on life gain, and they have tech in the sideboard to combat that.
Yeah, which they need. Yeah.
So my second match was against Gruul Aggro, so you played that first game. And guys, every single person we played, I mean, these are competent opponents. These are people that have done they've grinded, they've played arena, they have an understanding of the metagame. I mean, the level of competition at this con is very high.
It's intimidating, especially when we walked in. I mean, I walked in after Daniel, and I went to the main hall, which that was intimidating enough because in the center they had the focal points. They had the people that were live on the Star City Twitch accounts. And
so
stuff.
Cool.
But, then I called Daniel. He's like, no, we're in the Coliseum. And were we ever?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually 2 separate venues in this place. I mean, we're on the ground floor of a full Coliseum. I mean, this isn't like a basketball, like an NBA stadium.
It's like Roman gladiators.
No, but it really was like, I mean, it is very impressive that Magic has such a following now that we have these type of large events. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So what I will say is I had a lot of fun, and I never thought I would have that much fun losing. It's crazy.
So the Mythic Championship, the buy-in was $50, which
was it ever?
Which is very steep, but the winner was going to get $1,500 and an invitation to this Mythic Championship we were discussing earlier in Spain. Now, this isn't like a full paid trip or something. You had to get yourself there, but this is an invitation to one of the most prestigious Magic event, period. So, I mean, this is a big time event, and I was expecting to have a lot of competition. Looking back on it, I wish this was not the first event that we played when we were there. When you're competing at that high level of Magic tournaments, you want to have a little warm up maybe before you get in there.
Yeah, we jumped straight into it, man.
Straight in.
Yeah, as soon as you walk in, you're handed a piece of paper, write your deck list down, turn it in, and go.
Yeah. We got a promo card, Arcbound Ravager. This is like a central piece of Hardened Scales. Promo, beautiful card, and worth some bucks. Alan's going to look it up here. It's it's a cool card, and that was kind of a justification for the high entry fee. But it's not pulling up, but that's okay. Yeah, it was one of those events where you felt like you were playing for something big. I come from a no limit hold'em poker type background, and you don't really associate Magic with playing for money. This kind of felt like you were playing for money.
I mean, the grand prize was what, $1,500 and a trip to Spain for the Mythic.
Yeah, I mean that's a significant prize.
Okay, so who won?
The winner.
We got top 8.
Yeah, we got top 8. I ended up playing one of the guys that was in the top 8, number 8, John's playing Bant mid range.
So before we jump into these deck lists, one thing I do want to note: Command the Dreadhorde, crazy good card.
Really good.
Crazy good. That thing shined, and so did the Tamiyo. Yeah,
Tamiyo, Command the Dreadhorde, Hydroid Crassus was effective.
So
Teferi, obviously.
And another thing I want to point out, there is no mono red or Esper list of any kind in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Well, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that. So coming into it, if we take a step back, the metagame was the top two decks in the metagame were Mono Red Aggro and Esper mid-range.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the control version of it, the mid-range where there's creature.
It has changed drastically since then.
So that is kind of the story of Magic right now, is the variation, the variability. You don't know what you're going to face. Before rotation last time, there was a Rakdos deck, a red-black deck that was so dominant that it was kind of like, if you didn't bring this, you probably weren't going to win kind of deal. Now, I mean, it changes every week, and it kind of is to the point where it's like,
I don't know what to buy anymore.
You don't know what to buy. You don't have to play, and it's like you just need to commit to something, stick with it, try to ride it out, figure it out the best you can. Because I'm saying this, I think any deck can beat any deck.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But the card that really shines, that popped into my head, is the new Nissa. The new Nissa is a problem for specifically mono red, because she just puts bodies onto the battlefield, and she's just such a tough planeswalker, and they can get her out so quickly with the mana ramping. It's just very difficult to combat that from the mono red perspective.
Okay, so I mean, we got to talk about it.
All right, let's look at the number one list.
That's what I'm pulling up right now. Dreadhorde. it's Dreadhorde, guys.
Yeah.
I don't even know. This is a tough list.
So it's got the Golgari, Wild Growth Walker, Merfolk Branchwalker, J-Light Ranger. That is still, pound for pound, the best 1, 2, 3 turn engine. Because turn 1, Land of War Elves, you've got your mana. Turn 2, either Branchwalker or Walker. You've got that 1/3 body to protect against any aggression in the beginning, stifle their attack. And then turn 3, worst case scenario, maybe turn 2, J-Light Ranger.
Yeah.
It's digging through your deck. You're hitting your land drops. You're finding answers.
So as an Esper player, only running 24 lands would horrify me. But not these guys. They have the mana ramp, and everything in this deck needs answered almost immediately. The only card you can really let slide is the Branchwalker.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest it's going to be is a 3/2.
Yeah, you can let that one slide, but Llanowar Elf, turn 1, you have to try to answer that on your turn 1 or your turn 2.
Shock the elf. You have to shock the elf.
Yeah, or else they're just going to ramp. Now, the Planeswalkers, all 3 of these Planeswalkers are disgusting.
Yeah, Vraska, Golgari Queen, the guild's Vraska, she's kind of made a resurgence. Looking on Star City, I believe she was sold out, the standard version, out of stock. You know, she kind of saw some traction there with the Golgari list when it was kind of popular, but now she's back in a big way with this one because
it's because of the Elder Spell.
They can control the board so well that they can keep her alive.
I got this. She was popped turn 4. Couldn't deal with her. Turn 5, they popped her ult because of the Elder Spell.
So what game was that?
That was
which matchup was that?
That was when I was 1-1. So this was this guy was playing almost this exact list.
Okay.
And I ended up I lost to him, unfortunately, but I won that game where he popped her early. I was really proud of myself, you know,
you got her.
for holding that out. But dude, Tamio, she's still only $3 on Star City, and she puts your Command the Dreadhorde in your hand or in your graveyard, and her -3, you return whatever you want back to your hand.
Yeah, we're kind of like revisiting something from episode 1.
Yeah.
This card is very, very good. You know, taking a step back here, staying in these colors, no Simic Nexus, no blue-green Nexus of Fate decks that were so prevalent earlier on in the standard format. Those are gone, but cards that were used in those decks, specifically Tamio, are being utilized now in a Sultai form, and man, she is real good.
Assassin's Trophy.
Making a comeback.
It's a great card.
Making a comeback.
2 mana, and especially in this especially in this meta, you get rid of whatever you want. You need it. You have to have it. And I still can't believe Command the Dreadhorde is as good as it is. You just keep gaining life, and you don't care what they do. You win.
Yeah. It's just, you've got to get to the point where it's difficult against decks that have gotten your life total down because you're limited with what you can do. So there's 2 type of engines. There's the mass manipulation, which is basically a mind control effect where you're trying to control everything they have. It's creatures and planeswalkers, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's the Command the Dreadhorde. So that's the 2 avenues these decks are taking. So there's Bant, the blue-green-white strategy that really kind of sticks with the mass manipulation. And then there's the Sultai, or even 4-color Dreadhorde version where they have access to black.
Right.
I believe Command the Dreadhorde is a better card than Mass Manipulation because the Mass Manipulation's casting cost is very high.
Yeah, so what's crazy about that is I didn't see this being played, but it was the deck that we talked about last week, and it was number 1 in Arena. So even though Mass Manipulation's cost is high.
It was 4-color, though. So they were running another color. So now they've trimmed it to just Sultai.
Right. But Mass Manipulation would still work because Nissa is disgusting. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that before. I mean, 4 or 5 mana, she is probably pound for pound one of the best 5 mana planeswalkers for her class.
Yeah. And honestly, reading her, at first I was like, wow, this is really expensive.
She does so much.
Yeah, because those lands...
She untaps your land and puts a counter on it.
Because you can tap that land to get that mana, and then it untaps again.
Yeah. And it can attack.
And it can attack.
You can proliferate. Your force has now become a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and man, that card looks cool.
I'm
just looking at it right now, and I'm like, Nissa, you're just killing it, girl. You're killing it, girl.
You. All right, before we move on, is there any other deck that you want to talk about or anything else you want to say before we move from our combat phase?
I think we can move on. Is this the... Okay,
yeah
wow. Okay, so Grixis Midrange did make it.
I told you to play it.
So...
I told you.
In episode 1, we talked about this. Alan went up against this deck and absolutely destroyed this guy. I'm sorry if he's out there listening. But he kind of got mana screwed or something. I can't remember exactly.
First game he did.
Okay. So this was the deck that I was thinking about running, and I don't regret not running it. I didn't have as much experience with the deck I actually ran, and maybe that was to my detriment. But
it's the sheer amount of planeswalker removal.
I was nervous. I was nervous going in with this deck.
Yeah.
It was I was like, okay, I looked at it, I was like, do I want to play red or white? So that was the difference. This Grixis deck is blue, black, just like Esper, blue, black, but only instead of the white, it has red. Mm-hmm. And was the red justification enough to do this? So with the red, you get Bedevil, which is a removal for anything, and then you get Nicol Bolas, which is incredible, and then you get the Angrath's Rampage, which is another removal, and then this guy's got the Direfleet Daredevil in there.
And the Phoenix, yeah.
And 1 Phoenix. But I was looking at it and I was like, okay, is this a justification enough for running this over Esper? And I couldn't because of one reason. Teferi. Teferi is so good. I'm looking at any of this other stuff. This is not as good as Teferi.
Yeah. So, but what makes this deck good is how he works around Teferi. 3 Unborn Egos in the sideboard.
But you could have that in Esper.
2 Duress, 3 Elder Spell. I can have all of this.
You can have that's in Esper.
What sets it apart is Bedevil, instant speed, 3 mana Vraska's Contempt. Destroy whatever you want.
But it's not an exile.
That is true.
That's just
so Dreadhorde still brings it back.
And there's no life. There's no life gain. In Nicol Bolas the Ravager, I've thought about this card. It's like a 4/4 for 4 flyer and a discard. Okay, that's good, but man, like
if you flip him, that's where his true value is.
True, but like I'm putting this down and I'm like, oh god. I've just tapped out. I'm tapped out on turn 4 and I hope and he discarded a land and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah. What am I going to do now?
And then it's instantly lava coiled, and I've got nothing.
Yep.
Sorry, I got on a rant there.
No, I mean, that's why we're here. But, guys, we're going to go ahead and move from our second main phase, or from our combat phase now, to the title of the show.
Here we go.
It is our second main phase. And what I really do want to talk about is really what, second main phase in Magic is used for your follow-up. It's used for after you do everything. What could we have done better?
At the con, what could we have done better? Obviously, I mean, you could have
We could have won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be better. What's the Dark Souls mantra?
Get good, dude.
Just get good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Magic is such an intricate game that there's no way of knowing every little thing. And just walking around the con, listening to people talk, there is infinite possibilities in this game, and that's what makes it so incredible. You can't prepare for everything. You can't do everything.
That was one thing that we did talk about, is that you cannot tech your deck for every matchup.
No.
There are innately bad matchups for your deck. There's bad draws, there's bad everything. But
now what you can do better, though, is knowing which hands to keep and which hands to mulligan.
That's where I struggled, I feel like, the mulligan.
Because you look at it and you're like, okay, I don't know what this guy's playing.
Right.
When you go to your local game store, oftentimes you're playing somebody and you're like, I kind of know what you're playing.
Yeah.
You've played them before. This guy, I'm like, okay, this guy kind of looks like a mono red player.
Yeah.
And he flips over something insane.
Yeah. So then you see Elena Warrior turn one, you're like, crap.
Crap. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's how could you do better?
It's the tricky people. So it's the people that have different color sleeves with Liliana on the back, and then they're playing mono red or they're playing something crazy. But I feel like we could have deck tech more and practice more.
But I mean, we've got full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, we have families.
It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, I spend a lot of time doing Magic. I spend a lot of time reading about it, thinking about it. And guys that are high-level pros, I mean, this truly is their life. I mean, they know every single card. They're looking. They have such a vast experience of synergy and understanding. And another thing is just cutting your teeth in the competitive scene.
Yeah, this has made me want to go back more.
Absolutely.
I love this. I love the experience, everything about it. Were we prepared?
I mean, we were just talking about it. I had more reps in with the Grixis deck, and
play what you know.
Play what you know. But I didn't feel like I didn't know what to do with my deck. It was just I got some bad draws. Sometimes I ran out of gas, got flooded here and there. But it's a card game. I mean, these things happen.
So, but knowing what you know now, what would you have brought?
Mono red aggro, man.
Really? So, we're going to talk to that here in a second because Daniel also did some other side events, and we did one together, the Two-Headed Giant that we talked about last episode. But if I had it to do over again, mono blue.
Really?
I would have done mono blue tempo. The more I thought about it.
Do you have the reps in on Arena with that, don't you? Okay.
So
I've never been successful with that.
The deck, if you draw well enough on turn one, you can't be stopped. I can counter their on-curve planeswalkers with Spell Pierce. You have the Wizards. Was it Retreat or Retort?
Retort.
Okay. Yeah, you got the Wizards Retort. There's a lot of stuff in there that you could put. Mass Manipulation.
I didn't see that one time.
And that's what made me think of that. You want to go against the grain.
I agree with that. I think that's what these pros. I'm going to go off in the weed, not too far in the weeds here, but so SCG pros, these guys that are making the rounds, these guys that are winning these tournaments, they are setting the tone for what is at the top of the meta. These guys win invitationals. They have access to these top events. So statistically, they are going to be more successful because they are invited to these events.
And they have access to stuff that we wouldn't want to spend our money on.
So, and they are setting the meta with something, then they are responding to the meta
that they set.
So if you want to think of conspiracy theories, you can go down a deep dive here.
You really can.
And it's because this game allows for that. It allows... Wizards has done such an incredible job of making a game where literally anything is possible. Any deck can win.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at right now.
And that's awesome.
It is.
I mean,
very exciting.
So this wasn't all doom and gloom. We did have a blast.
Yeah, we were very successful.
So my favorite part of the whole event, and we talk knowing what we know now, wouldn't have done the Mythic Invitational. I would have done 2 rounds of Two-Headed Giant with this guy right here. That was so much fun. Two-Headed Giant sealed draft.
It was fun.
You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay, so we've never done Two-Headed Giant together.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, was it 2-1-1?
I think that's how it ended, yeah.
And we got to go to the Chuck E. Cheese prize wall.
Dude, that was cool. I like tearing into my tickets.
Yeah, so how did we draft? How did we do? What did we see?
We drafted a Grixis aggro deck / control.
Yep, and then I drafted a Azorius aggro deck, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is how you can say it. So our fault here was not thinking too outside the box in respects, because we could have dealt more with proliferation for each other. I feel like that's where we really messed up.
I still think we had a very good deck. So the first 2 games we won, and
it was good.
We controlled the board very well. And once we had one of our big threats come down, so our big threats, at least in my deck.
So before you say this, this is how I want to explain this to everybody out there in TV land. We drafted the best red-black deck. Daniel was running. If he was playing 1-on-1, he would have won that single-handedly. No problems at all. So I was, I kind of did the bottom of the barrel then at that point, which, I mean, it is what it is, but we still had fun doing it. Because my Azorius control was designed to kind of hold him down at the beginning, but it didn't do its job that we needed to, because his deck was just so good.
So our best creatures, our best planeswalkers.
Listen,
dude. I'm just so excited because I want to talk about this guy right here.
Nicol Bolas, we got him. Yeah, we pulled him. Well, this is the second Nicol Bolas that I've pulled.
You're really good at doing that.
I love him. So we pulled him, and what else did we get?
We got Sarkon the Masterless. I just feel like such a punk like reading this off, because I mean, this card is just so good. I mean it makes a 4/4 flyer right off the bat. Anything that kind of protects itself. I mean, I talked about this last time. A planeswalker that protects himself is just so good.
Yep. What was the big winner for what was it? Game 1?
Yeah, Krinko.
Krinko goes hard.
Krinko. I mean, I want to get this tatted, man. This guy, he just keeps attacking and making dudes. So cool.
Yeah. So, but really, Daniel's deck was really good. Now, what did we lose to? What was our big downfall?
We lost to a couple guys. We sat down across the table, and I was like, man, these guys are going to be good. we got that vibe.
Yeah, that's always the bad part, is when you sit down across some people and your first thought is, oh no. Because these guys sat down, they had steel dice, you know what I mean?
Just so tough.
Oh man, they were ready.
Dude, they were ready for us.
So
these punk kids from West Virginia, they had no idea what was coming.
So we lost to dudes that drafted for proliferation, really.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that we didn't have good pulls, because we did.
Very good pulls.
But what was the card that we really lost to in the last game where we tied?
Time Wipe?
Lord. If you get Time Wipe and Two-Headed Giant, keep it. Because you're getting rid of 4 players boards, not just 2.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, so War of the Spark Limited kind of, sometimes it gets into like board stall territory, and there's several cards that, flyers kind of like soar above the battlefield, and then there's like a couple unblockable creatures, and then there's guys that can like make your creatures unblockable, which I guess that's kind of par for the course in other limited formats, but it's just very evident here where there's so many planeswalkers running around. It's this time wipe, like, it just destroyed everything. And I mean, I don't remember how many cards we had in hand.
Not enough.
But like in limited, if you don't have any way, because I mean, we had no means of like
card draw, really.
None at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, because certain, like in other formats, if you don't have any cards in hand, that can be beneficial. But it also, you have ways of you know, you can access your graveyard, yada yada yada. This, you're just kind of screwed. Like, I mean, I don't have any cards. I can't do anything.
But really, I love Two-Headed Giant so much that I wish to go back and do it again. Now, Daniel did also play in a side standard show and a side modern show.
Yeah, so I stuck around Saturday and did those side events. You know, I knew you said that you wish we didn't do the Mythic Championship. I still like doing those big events. Too. I feel like that's just, I mean, that's what you go for.
It's an experience.
Yeah, that's what you go for.
But I can't explain to you how much fun I had finally collaborating in Magic with someone beside you that you can actually talk about your plays.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
And it was very easy to synergize with you. It wasn't a matter of, oh, no, I want this. No, I want this one. It was just kind of like...
Do you think this is a good play? Yeah, let's combo with this. Now, I did save us first game.
Yeah.
I did make that clutch play with... I don't remember what the artifact was.
Yeah, Alan figured that we could...
wipe their whole board.
Yeah, we had a neat little... It was a combat trick.
Yeah.
That we were actually able to cast, and I didn't see the play... And I was like, wow, like, I just thought about, you know, in other situations, did I not see certain plays? You know, but, I mean, that's hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20. But let me just make a comment. The longer I played in these tournaments...
The more comfortable you felt,
The more comfortable you felt, and then you could see things. Relating this to a sports analogy, the game kind of slows down.
Yeah.
Where, you know, high-level pros, they talk about, you know, able to see, you know, everything happening on the court. This is a situation where I saw my opponents making mistakes. I saw them leaving openings, and I thought to myself, this is the difference between a casual and a pro.
Yeah.
Where they know exactly what you're doing. The shenanigans you're pulling over there, you're not pulling anything over on them. Like, that's the difference.
Right. So Daniel did me proud. He used my favorite deck, my 10 rack.
Yeah.
And he went to a modern. I was working, unfortunately, but I was trying to give him advice as I could. And Daniel, how did 10 rack do for you, bud? What did you not expect? What did you expect?
So my matches, I guess I can just start with my matches. 10 rack is that discard deck. It's very much a control deck, which I was not really aware of that. I honestly kind of thought the deck kind of played itself, and this is not a slight at you. It was just I thought this was kind of like you just put them in such a bad situation that they're just screwed. But it really is. There's other elements to this deck where you can actually see their hand, and there were situations where I didn't know exactly what to grab. My first matchup and my third matchup were combo decks. The first matchup was, there's this card called Kiki Jiki.
Oh, Keek.
And an Angel of something. Not Restoration. Anyway, basically it goes infinite. There's a combo where it goes infinite, and he was able to get the combo going. Game one, I think I completely stifled him. He wasn't able. I mean, when you sit down with 10 rack, the opponent, this isn't really a top of the metagame type deck. They're going to be thrown off a little bit. And I think that's what happened to him, but he was able to very effectively, game two, turn the tide.
Yeah.
This Kiki Jiki Angel deck, I was looking at his hand and looking back on it, might have should have pulled something else out of it, but these decks are able to, they have legs. They can stand with if you take away one of their pieces.
Right.
You've got it pulled up right here.
Yep. Oh, Kiki Jiki. Yep.
I wasn't playing Magic when this card was around.
Yep. He's a really expensive goblin. He's 5 mana for a 2/2 with haste, but you put a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control into the battlefield. That token has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Mm-hmm. So what did he do?
So this angel comes down, and then he's able to play this and then tap it. There's some type of trigger that untaps Kiki Jiki, and then he's able to just tap this continuously. Oh, I think the permanent when this permanent enters the battlefield, untap target permanent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to find something, but
yeah, I don't have that deck list pulled up, but I want to talk about this other combo deck. So this thing, it basically this is an archetype that's been around the block. I mean, this is something that I should have been aware of, but I've only been back in Magic for about a year or so now, and it's hard, especially in Modern. I mean, this is the card pull is just so deep. It's hard to know everything.
Correct. But I mean, you did go 2-2?
Yeah, I went 2-2.
Okay.
The other deck I played against, I'm trying to pull it up here. It actually got 3rd place in the big Modern event, one of the big Modern events. And
did you beat that one?
I was unable to beat this one. This is a Jeskai Sahili, sorry. There's a new Sahili in the new War of the Spark, but I believe this might be the original one that was made. This is from shoot, I can't remember the name of this set. This was in the last standard.
The last rotation.
Yeah. So this is the 3 mana Planeswalker Sahili Rai. And her -2 is create a token that's a copy of a target artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact. In addition to its other types, that token also has haste. This is able to go infinite with a card called Felidar Guardian.
Nice.
Just some random duder, like 4 mana, 1/4. And what was surprising was I believe these are in the same block.
Yeah, they are.
So this was just something recently in Standard. When this enters the battlefield, you may exile another... When it enters the battlefield, you may exile another target permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under control. So basically this is bouncing Sahili, and then this is making infinite number of these Felidar Guardians with haste, so they're hitting you for 1 million.
And of course, Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah. Snapcaster is in this deck to return like exiles or serum visions, basically digging to find.
So what Planeswalkers does this run as well?
Yeah, it's got Teferi and Narset.
2 so strong Planeswalkers, man.
I don't think... and this is the deck list by Ben Friedman, and he writes for SCG. So he's top tier. He actually won in Kansas City a couple weekends ago. The deck that the guy I was playing, he had Geist of Saint Taft. This is an
did he?
Yeah, this is a Innistrad card. So when I saw his hand with Thoughtseize, because I was still running 10 rack, I took that. So I think I had the option of taking Sahili or maybe the Felidar Guardian.
Probably should have done one of those, I guess.
Right, but this was before I had even an understanding.
You don't know.
And I looked at the Geist of St. Taft, and I was like, okay, hexproof, and when he swings, he's making a 4/4 angel. So, he's coming in for 6, and I'm like, this is going to be a problem.
See, but for me, hindsight, obviously.
Right.
I don't know what I would have done if I were in the situation, but that's why Smallpox is so huge.
Yeah.
And that's why Lily's so huge. Sacrifice a creature. As soon as something comes down that you can't handle, as long as he's not hexproof, that creature's gone. Yeah.
And looking back on it, it's like playing decks that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Probably not the best idea. Should have been running Dredge. But I wanted to play something fun. I wanted to play something different.
So, and for you, now jumping to the standard showdown that he did, the small one.
Yeah.
Daniel played mono red, everybody.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him play mono red.
Mono red, this mono red, I think I talked about it last time. It's it takes a little bit more than just like putting dudes
out. It's not mindless as people think.
No, it's not a burn deck. It's not just a burn deck. Like it really is a more strategic type of deck. I went 3-0 in my first 3 matches, and honestly, a lot of them weren't even close.
Yeah.
I actually, in my final match, this was for quote unquote the championship of the side event. We were both 3-0. I think we were the only 3-0s. And I went up. It was very ironic. I went up against Esper Midrange, a version of the same deck that I brought for the Mythic Championship qualifier, and I was like, "Wow, this is hilarious."
Yeah.
But the guy I was playing, you could just tell that he was on another level.
Yeah.
Like
he was ready, wasn't he?
He had driven from Kansas. He had driven 16 hours to this event, and we played people in the two-headed giant. We played people from Syracuse, New Jersey.
We played people from all over the place. Like, there's dudes from Georgia and stuff. I wasn't expecting that.
No. And some of the other people I played in that event were from D.C. and Alabama.
Yeah.
So, I feel good about this because, these are, you go to these big ones and you can think, okay, these guys are probably one of the best
in their area.
Yeah, of their local game store.
They felt confident enough to drive from Alabama.
Yeah, they left their family. They left their friends to go to this.
To go to a Star City event and play us doofuses. Joke's on them. Yeah. We're going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
But no, man, it was fun. I cannot wait to do it again.
Yeah. So we've got Richmond coming up soonish, and then obviously the Winter Con. I think they're moving that up a little bit this year because of the big snowstorm last year.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys posted on what we're going to bring, what we feel like's the best, and maybe we can get some off-meta stuff together. But, Dino, that's all I got for today.
Time flies, man, when you're talking about Magic.
So, next episode, guys, I'm going to unleash the beast. Okay. I'm going to let Daniel talk about MTG Finance.
Oh, man.
And there's a lot to talk about with Modern Horizons that we probably need to move just for a whole episode with the shift and how...
We didn't even get to it, did we?
No, we had to push that back because this episode could have been 3 hours.
We could have.
Because we got to talk about some stuff.
Plus, we got to get to Friday Night Magic.
Yeah, we do. We're going to a local game store tonight. We're going to Jade Tiger to do draft, and we're going to go there. And Daniel, I'm going to need you to bat those beautiful eyes of yours and see if maybe we can get a two-headed giant redemption. Woo! Maybe we can do that.
I want to play it.
Yeah, I do too. But guys, thank you all so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Alan.
I'm Daniel.
And we'll see you guys next time on Second Main Phase.
See ya.
See ya. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the stream. And we do want to say thank you. We had a new follower while we were on there.
Shout out.
Shout out. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that name.
Theotiste
underscore 40. Well, whoever you are, if you are still listening, I did not mean to snub you when you did follow. We do have the audio portion of the podcast that we upload, and I'd like to just keep it, just as clean as possible without having to go in and edit anything. But thank you so much. That means more to me than you know, and it doesn't mean anything to Daniel because he's kind of mean.
Aww.
I don't mean it. But really, everyone, thank you guys so much. We're hoping to get a YouTube channel going here before too long, and just thank you.
See ya.
Bye, y'all.